Context is definitely a king, not a content anymore, but context, and I'll explain you why. 70% of people, according to research made in United States, is using Chat GPT in not the appropriate way. What it means actually, it means that substantial part of this group is considering artificial intelligence either giving them irrelevant answers or just purely dumb, which in fact is not true for one specific reason that people didn't realize context is king, not the content. Artificial intelligence can get smarter with the appropriate context being available for artificial intelligence. Today, I'll explain you what the context is, how you can build it, but above all, how to properly talk to artificial intelligence. Imagine you met a person in a store, and that person asks you the question, what would be a great diet for me? In this situation, you probably are not going to give this person any advice. The reason is simple. To give somebody an advice about diet, you need to consider more information to be able to provide comprehensive answer. You might quickly scan the person's body shape and say, hey, you look great. I don't think you need the diet. Or you might say, hey, I think you're a little bit overweight. You might need this and that diet. Both cases, you might be wrong. In case number one, the body shape doesn't really say anything about the situation because that person might have another challenges, like, for instance, blood pressure or white cells in the blood, whatever it is, and the diet still will be something worth to consider. In the case of the situation of the person that is overweight, not the shape is dedicating the diet. An overweight might be a result of stress or hormone management and other things not directly related to a diet. The same situation happens with artificial intelligence. If you ask the question like that, artificial intelligence is not going to give you any good answer without a context. What is the context? Context is something that opens doors for artificial intelligence to consider more conditions, situations, stories, experience that will help artificial intelligence to answer the question. If you're in business and the meetings are part of your everyday engagement, you might be a salesperson, manager, or CEO, where meetings, phone calls, conversation with other people are the blood of what you do. So in this case, imagine you record every single conversation, make notes after every single meeting, and you make sure that everything where you exchange with people over messages and chats, it's downloaded and stored on your hard disk and your computer. And then all of that you upload to artificial intelligence. That's the context. Is the context ever done? No. The context is infinitive because every time you create it, every time you do something, you write a new story. That story creates your context. Let's say you go for a walk and accidentally a customer gave you a call to thank for the help. That's another piece of the context. Context is content. It used to be very important when Google was trying to explain us that we need to write this blog post, this article according to certain rules to make sure that Google find it friendly, index that, and show it to other people. So we were trying to create the content in very specific way. Today, We don't care how we create the content. You don't need to care about how you talk over the phone. You don't want to use bad words or negative sentiment. I'm talking about what words you use, how you structure your speech. It's important for a communication perspective, but it doesn't matter for artificial intelligence. It helps, but it's not very important. For Google, indexing your next article, next blog post, it was critical to have the post probably ideally structured. H1 headlines, H2 headlines, H3 headlines, paragraphs, images, bullet points, meta description, keywords, and things like that matters a lot. In the artificial intelligence times, whatever you create become a context. A content, it's not that important. The context is. So let's come back to this question about the diet. If that person asking you for a diet gives you a context, your answer will be more precise, comprehensive, and useful. For instance, that person will grab out of the purse its blood results that they done last week and show it to you. If you're a doctor, you can understand that context and say, hey, looking at your level of specific factors like blood cells or cholesterol, I can tell you this, your diet is completely perfect. Or somebody will pull up the app with all the ingredients that person been consuming for the last 5 years. Looking at that, you will see that the sugar level is too high, and you can say, hey, you need to lower that sugar level, right? But combining blood tests and the app will give you even more to analyze and a better context. Artificial intelligence is about the context. Why? Because every time you trigger a question, artificial intelligence model is going to assume that context anyway. If you ask a question, what is the great coffee shop in Rome, Italy to go for? It will come up with new one. You can even have something made up especially for you. There is no artificial intelligence models that will tell you, I don't know. They've been created to generate generative AI something for you anyway. So the 70% of people that are describing that artificial intelligence is dumb or doesn't give irrelevant answers, they really should think the other way. What context I can expose artificial intelligence to have that answer precise and close to my preferences. So how you can do that? It's pretty simple. Record every meeting. Upload every thought and idea to artificial intelligence. Share with artificial intelligence your stories, poems you wrote, things you bought, or complaints you got from other people about you. Depends on you want to choose, you want to achieve. Share the context with artificial intelligence. If you care about privacy and you're afraid of that, anonymize it. You don't need to say, those blood results are RX blood results. You might say, hey, look at these blood results, and that's it. You don't need to give the specific name, birth date, or social security number, or whatever there is sensitive data for you. And that context will enrich artificial intelligence and give you better answers. So, one advice, stop asking artificial intelligence questions like, what would be a great hot dog for dinner? Or what would be a great jog for a morning? Or how I should manage my finances? Every time you trigger that question, you will get a whole bunch of hallucinations, things that are made up because there is no artificial intelligence model that will say, I don't know. Sometimes the model can ask you, what do you mean? Instead of going to the endless conversation and having a lot of not precisely prepared answers, just make sure that you build the context, structure the context, upload it as PDFs, presentations, or Microsoft Excel files. Remember, context is more important than the content. Even if that content is not structured very well, the artificial intelligence is going to make use of it and give you a more precise answer.